Hello, today we are going to talk about ISO 9001. The standard of standards, the most certified, the most well-known standard in the world. And today we will discuss a bit about its updates, and how the most recent version from 2015 looks. What is the profile of companies that adopt ISO 9001 as a management system standard? And how can you implement this standard in your company as well? Before we begin, I would like to ask you to like this video, follow us on social media, and turn on notifications so you can always stay updated with our latest news. Well, the main goal of a company seeking to implement a management system is to ensure that what you are selling to the customer is exactly what they will receive in the end. This is the commitment of a company seeking ISO 9001 certification, to ensure that the customer receives what they purchased. Therefore, the system will go through various requirements and best practices. We understand that an ISO standard is a manual of best practices that guides the company in achieving this goal through the implementation of a management system. So, what types of companies? It is very common for us to receive this type of question: what kind of company can receive certification? This is the most interesting part of ISO 9001. Any company in any industry, anywhere in the world, can implement this standard. It is exactly the same for any company, whether it's a large corporation, an industry, or a small service company. It will work exactly the same way, depending on the company, its characteristics, and what it does. You will adopt it in a way that makes sense for your organization. That's the intention. ISO 9001 was updated in 2015, and since then, it has become more strategic. We often have the idea of ISO 9001 as a factory floor standard, as simply a procedural standard. Since 2015, it has taken on a more planning-focused, strategic approach that aligns more closely with the organization's context, bringing many insights and much more planning to the organization that wants to become more strategic in its relationship with its customers. So, today the standard can be adopted by any company, anywhere in the world, with a much more strategic perspective. Of course, in the world, the companies that most commonly adopt ISO 9001 today are still segmented in those classic sectors we already know: oil industries, plastic industries, the metalworking industry in general, and the construction industry are the ones that most adopt ISO 9001. However, we have increasingly noticed growth in other technical areas that are also beginning to understand that having a management system makes sense for their business and for the relationship they want to foster with their customers. Today, we see that many service companies, such as law firms, advertising agencies, and other companies that purely implement services, are also increasingly adopting ISO 9001 as a manual of best practices for their business. Any company can undergo this certification. And the process is the same. How does it work for you to seek ISO 9001 certification? You will aim to meet the requirements of this standard. So, the first step is to have the standard in hand and become familiar with the requirements. You can use a consultancy to help you with this, and we recommend doing so whenever possible. An external perspective is always very valuable. After implementing the requirements, you go through an internal audit process. You will look inward and verify if you are truly ready to receive certification. From there, you will contact a certification body like QMS certification to visit your establishment, get to know your company, and understand how you have worked to meet those requirements, and then you can become ISO 9001 certified. This is the process. This is the procedure for any company in any industry. This is how ISO 9001 implementation works. After that, you can celebrate and distribute your certificate, promote it, and make very good use of your newly implemented management system. Do you have any questions about how the certification process works? What are the objectives? What companies have this certificate? Leave a comment below, and we will be happy to share our knowledge and answer your questions.